So your kid just found a condom and you're completely caught off guard. You have no idea what to say. And you're probably even wondering, is it appropriate to even answer this question at their age? Let me offer some reassurance, because you probably don't know how to answer many of the questions that your kid asks, but you probably take a stab at it because they tend to not be sex questions. But when it comes to sex topics, our adult brain goes, oh, this is a sex question. And all of a sudden, we don't know how to process it and how to go about answering something that we deem as adult things. And that's where I come in. I'm Kathleen, and I used to be a former sex ed teacher who now teaches parents how to answer their kids' sex questions in a medically accurate and age-appropriate way. So what I want to do in this how-to video is show you how to answer this question at each of the age ranges. If you're not familiar with my age ranges, these are them. They're very simple. That is the age range and the age of the child that corresponds to that range. As a former sex ed teacher, this is what I did. I answered kids' sex questions in the classroom. And so I know the common questions that kids will ask in each of these age ranges and how to answer them in an age-appropriate way. So let's start with the primary age, ages 4, 5, and 6. And your primary age kid asks, what's this? Now you might be thinking, how in the world did a primary age kid find a condom? Or you're thinking it's totally irresponsible of the parents to make condoms accessible to their young child. I want to ask you to set aside those judgments for a moment and think of the possibilities that could lead to a child asking this question. Maybe the parents bought condoms and the child was helping to put away the groceries and just happened to stumble upon it. Or maybe the kid comes into their bedroom in the morning and sees a condom that was left unopened on the nightstand because the parents unfortunately fell asleep. Or maybe the kid's just getting into their cousin's things who's spending the weekend visiting from college. There's many possibilities that all points towards a simply curious kid. But now you're on the spot, so what do you say? That's a great question. So that's called a condom, and adults use it to prevent the spread of viruses and bacteria. Do you know a more common way we say viruses and bacteria? Germs. Very good. Right off the bat, the praise at the beginning of this response is encouraging. It shows the child that you are glad when they ask you their questions. And without saying it, the child gets the message that you are happy when they ask questions. And now the actual answer here is accurate. You're stating that it's a condom and it's something that only adults use to prevent the spread of viruses and bacteria. This answer acknowledges the kid's age and provides the information in a way that they can understand. And then the redirection at the end of the explanation is a technique that you can use to keep the conversation going, but aiming it away from the sex topic. Next up is the intermediate age, ages 7, 8, and 9, and they ask you, what's this? Oh, that's a great question. So that's a condom, and adults use it to prevent the spread of viruses and bacteria, as well as semen when having sex. Do you remember what sex is? Now, if you've been following me here for a while, this next part is going to sound a little bit repetitive, but if you are new here, I recommend to parents to explain what is sex at some point during the intermediate age, ages 7, 8, and 9. And so therefore, this response would align with age-appropriate information that a 7, 8, or 9-year-old would know. But if you haven't explained what is sex to your 7, 8, or 9-year-old, you can use the primary age response, or you can go ahead and explain what sex is. If you need help explaining what sex is at the intermediate age, you can go to my website and download my free starter pack. This will give you the basic information that you need to have layer 1 of this very common sex talk. This type of layering process is what I teach parents in Top Talks. Top Talks is for parents who want just a little bit of extra guidance when it comes to having the sex talks and want to know the scripts that I use with my own kids when I have these talks. It's where I show parents how to layer the common sex talks, like where do babies come from, the sex, masturbation, and porn talk, as well as the newly added relationships talk, like what is a crush, and the online safety talk. All of these topics would be very overwhelming to explain at one time, but spaced out over 6 years, it allows you the time to build your child's understanding around these topics before they hear it from their friends. If your child is getting close to turning 10 years old and you have not had the sex talk, it's time. Right now is actually a really great time to purchase Top Talks, as you get the puberty topics in a jar and the teen topics in a jar, which are 30 questions and answers that you can initiate a lot of these conversations with your child in a very easy and gamified way. Those are now free in Top Talks this month. Check out the link in the comments and the description for more information. Next up is the middle school age, ages 10, 11, and 12, and they ask you, what's this? I'm really glad you asked me that question. So that's called a condom, and adults use it to prevent the spread of viruses and bacteria, as well as semen, when having sex. But it needs to be used correctly. Do you know the correct steps to using a condom? Now, of course, it's like a broken record. The first part of the response is praising your kid for asking the question and then defining what a condom is. But now at the middle school age, we are trying to help develop their self-efficacy, the belief in themselves to be able to protect and take care of their sexual health. And learning the correct steps to condom use does just that. It's been shown that when students learn the correct steps to using a condom and then actually got to try and follow the steps in a safe environment like a classroom setting, they were more likely to use a condom when they eventually engaged in sexual activity. And they were actually even more likely to delay sexual activity altogether compared to their peers who never learned this skill. So take that as reassurance that teaching the correct steps to condom use does not actually encourage sexual activity. Now, finally, the high school age, ages 13, 14, and 15. Now, at this age, they may not actually ask you what a condom is, but if they do, you can go ahead and praise their curiosity and then say. So that's a condom, and adults use it to prevent the spread of viruses and bacteria, as well as semen when having sex. It can be a highly effective method of contraception if used correctly. So there are correct steps to using a condom. Do you remember what those are? You know what, next time we're in the shops, remind me to show you where the condoms are because there are loads of different types and varieties. By the high school age, you are now educating your child so that they can make informed decisions for their own sexual health. It's not only about providing information anymore, it's about providing the tools and skills so that they can support themselves and take care of their own health. Learning how to access and obtain condoms is a part of that skill development. So that's it. That's how you answer the question, what's a condom, if a kid asks between the ages of 4 and 15. Now, if you've got a question that you would like me to answer in this same style of video where I show how to answer the question at each of the different age ranges, leave a comment with the question and I will try and do that. That's my educational video for this week. I really appreciate all of y'all who like, watch, and comment. And I now need to go and put away these condoms before my kids come home from school and ask, what's this?